How are you doing?
Pretty good, but I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed right now.
Well, let's see what we can do to help you not feel so overwhelmed. Let's start by talking about the math lesson you just taught.
Okay.
Just so we're on the same page, the purpose of our conversation today is to reflect on your students' thinking and learning with respect to the learning target for the lesson. Let's use the stoplight model for reflection to guide our conversation.
Sounds good to me.
So, remind me, what was the learning target for this lesson?
Well, I wanted students to understand that with fractions, when you divide a whole, you have to divide the whole into pieces that are the same size.
So, by the end of the lesson, do you think students understood that?
Well, some of them did. Maybe.
Okay. First, you had the students draw a circle and you asked them to divide the circle into 4 equal parts.
Yeah, and most of the students could do that without any help, and the rest of the kids got it with some help.
Okay, so then you had your students draw a circle and divide it into 5 equal parts, and it seemed like that was a lot harder for them.
Yes, that was a real challenge for most students.
What might have been some reasons it was hard for them?
Well, some of them just did what they had done before and divided their circles into 4 equal parts and then drew an extra line to make 5 parts. But then, of course, the parts weren't equal. Other students worked really hard to make 5 equal parts and kept erasing lines when it didn't work out. And then they just had a whole bunch of lines, erased lines, in their circles, and eventually they gave up. And then some kids drew weird shaped circles, and there was no way they could have been divided into equal parts.
Yes, I noticed some students had a hard time dividing circles into an odd number of equal parts. It would be easier for students to work with dividing a rectangle into equal parts. So, what were some things that helped or hindered students' understanding of the learning target?
I definitely think that I had them work with the wrong shapes, or shape. And making them divide it into an odd number of equal parts was hard for them. But I also noticed a couple of kids didn't seem to understand what it meant to have equal parts. I'm wondering if they even know what equal means in this context.
Huh, what makes you think that?
Well, they drew their lines all over the place.
So, how is that evidence that they didn't understand?
Well, I think if they understood what equal means, they would have been more deliberate in how they divided up their circles.
Okay, now you've identified some of the important aspects of the lesson that impacted student learning. The circle, the number of parts to divide into the circle, and just what it means to have equal parts. What are some of your ideas about the next steps to help more students thinking toward a better understanding of the learning target?
Well, I'm thinking about having students work with rectangles instead of circles, and I'm definitely going to give them rectangles already drawn on paper so they don't have to draw weirdly shaped rectangles. And I would like to give them more practice dividing rectangles into various even and odd numbers of equal parts.
You mentioned changing the shape to rectangles and having students practice with various number of parts. But what are you going to do about the kids who don't understand the meaning of equal?
Um, I have no idea what to do.
Well, in the past, I've helped students develop their understanding of what equal means through examples that I model, real life examples and scenarios, using manipulatives, and comparing things that are equal and not equal. Do any of these strategies sound like they might work well with this group of students?
Yeah, I might try several of these strategies, but I think I should first find out what they think equal means.
Eliciting their initial ideas is a great starting point to help you decide what strategy might work best to help move their thinking forward. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
No, this has been really helpful. I think I have a better sense about where to go from here. Thanks.
Anytime.